When you hear the word Advent, what do you think of? Do you think of candles? Do you think of candy? Do you think of calendars? Because this is generally what we come to when we think of the word Advent. And in recent memory, it seems as though this season before Christmas is defined by a rushing, and it's a rushing towards commercialism. But that's not the intention of Advent. In fact, Advent is something different. Advent is about anticipation. Advent is about slowing down. Advent is about taking some time to wait on the Lord our God. As we think about this season, there are 4 weeks that lead up to Christmas. And there's a particular kind of waiting that we do leading up to Christmas time. Each of these weeks should help us think about the power of Jesus and anticipate the celebration of His birth, that we're preparing ourselves week after week to celebrate well the coming of the Christ that was promised by God throughout the entire Old Testament. And so there is this sense of waiting on the celebration. The celebration is coming, but it's not yet. Now, there's also a second kind of anticipation that we recognize during this Advent period, that just as God promised Jesus in the Old Testament, and the incarnation was the faithful realization of that promise that we celebrate, so too in Advent, we are looking forward to the second coming of Christ. That just as God said He would send Jesus in the incarnation, God has also said that there's a day coming soon, a day coming next when Jesus will come back again and gather up His church and take us into heaven. And as we celebrate Advent, we're looking ahead. We're saying that the God who is faithful then is the God who is faithful now and will carry us into a new and bright future. And so these 4 weeks are about this kind of waiting, about this kind of anticipation. So when we come to this time of Advent, we want to pause. And when we find ourselves rushing, we need to recognize that's the way the world goes. That's opposed to where God is taking us. And in this season, we want to wait together and long for Jesus together.